discrimination against lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender employees is a hugely important business issue, and it really matters. And what's vital is that businesses send signals to say that they are inclusive organisations. That applies to big companies, but it also applies to small ones as well, because it's just good business. It's good business for the individual, but it's also good business for the company, and I'm delighted that Lord Browne has indicated that in such a compelling way. Good evening, everybody, and a very big welcome to the IoD. Lord Browne needs very little introduction. He was chief executive of BP for 12 years, where he built an extraordinary reputation and quintupled the value of the business. He's now a partner at Riverstone Holdings and one of the leading energy and business thinkers anywhere. I read a lot, and I sat down to read John Browne's book, The Glass Closet, Why Coming Out is Good for Business, and I didn't stop till I finished. There's no higher tribute. It is a great read. For those of the audience who haven't read the book, could you talk about what's in it and what motivated you to write it?
First is I wanted to stop anyone getting into the same mess that I got into, where my public and private lives collided in a big display of fireworks. Secondly, I wanted to give people confidence by talking about role models. They're so important in life. Stories about people who'd come out successfully and actually unsuccessfully, and talk about them. Thirdly, I wanted to write a letter to all those CEOs, all of whom were straight, apparently, and to talk to them about what they should do to make it safe for people to be themselves at work. And I thought if I did that, it might have perhaps a little bit wider application than just LGBT people.
What are the signposts that businesses can provide?
Well, the very biggest signpost is role models. That's the very biggest signpost. And it's the one which makes the most difference to people, because all the words and all the processes and all the actions are overwhelmed by seeing people being successful in a company who are out and LGBT.
I decided to come along tonight because I thought it would be a very informative session to hear about Lord Browne's experiences through the business world and how that's changed his perspective and how the success is built on from where he started to when he came out and how that followed on.
I was fascinated in Lord Browne's story because it's a story that I've certainly shared, and I think a lot of people in business have shared. We've all gone through parts of our careers where we have felt a need to suppress our sexuality.
The one big message I'd like businesses to take away is they are role models, whether they're straight or gay, and they need to make sure that inclusion, which has such a powerful business impact, is part of their agenda every day.
In the process of you coming out of the closet, as it were, have you lost many friends and have you gained a lot more friends?
I think the balance is decidedly, and I've gained a lot more friends. And actually the friends that I had have become stronger friends.
I have spent 40 years of my life working for exactly what you said. And I really, really think it's very important. Why should I, as a gay man, be judged on my sexuality, not on my business ability?
Why does it matter what sex you are, what sexuality you are? Let's just confine it to the area I know something about called business, let alone society. They're actually measurable outputs.
Lord Browne, you were a real pioneer at BP in promoting diversity and making it part of your scorecard. And I'm interested in your perspective as a wise business leader in how we can get more CEOs to place the broader issues around diversity higher on their scorecards.
I think the business case needs to be repeated again and again of really why inclusion is important. And in my mind, I've reconciled it this way. A company of engaged people does better than a company with not engaged people. So question, how do you engage? First port of call is The only way to engage people is to make sure that they are who they are when they come to work. They're not spending half their brain being somebody else.
Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I have been a fan of Lord Browne for a long time. I think someone that's got the courage to actually say what he said is amazing.
London is very proactive with improving everything for gay people. So I thought it could be interesting in hearing the points of view from one of the top businessmen in the world, actually.
I decided to come to the IoD to do an evening because the IoD is a very important organisation that reaches parts that others cannot. It's a very broad organisation of people with great common sense and great expertise.
Business leaders need to remember that tone at the top is all important, and that the signals that they give up, the signals they give, the people they promote, the way they behave is absolutely vital. And that is even truer in small and medium-sized businesses than it is in big ones. And I think we've had an excellent example from Lord Browne tonight about the kind of leadership he's showing now, and actually that he wishes he'd shown in his time at BP rather earlier. And that call to have more inclusiveness throughout the business community is a fundamental one, and one that the IoD backs very strongly.